Bill Nichols, Shade Tree Gunsmithing and Leatherwork. You know, this week we thought we would bring you a little bit of gunsmithing there. We've got a 1022 that we've been waiting on parts and waiting on parts. We bought this receiver from Brownells and this charging handle. And we also bought the bolt that's in it. And I just put the bolt in it. And I should have put it on video, but I just decided I was just going to go ahead. This be a good one, I guess, to put. All you do is just kind of have this thing slid back and just drop your bolt down in there. Comes up, you just drop it back down in, and then slide her forward. We've oiled it. You know, we just put a drop of oil on this. That's all we ever use, just a drop of oil. There's no use over oiling anything. I've had a bunch firearms come in, and they said they wouldn't work, and I'd check them, and all they was just gummed up. Too much oil. These guys that think you got to drench your gun, you know, it just, well, I guess it's just uneducational, you know, is all you can say about it. And I've watched other guys, you know, and they'll squirt here and squirt there and everything. One drop on this brush will do this whole firearm, and it'll keep it clean and oiled good. And so, well, anyway, we put the bolt in it there. So we'll go ahead and stick the barrel on. Now the barrel, I took and done made this piece on the end of it right here, and I spot welded it on because this one is my firearm. I wanted it to stay on there. I didn't want to drill it, tap it. You know, not that I couldn't do it. But I had seen a piece like that online, and I just decided to make one out of steel. And of course, I took Van's cold blue and just blued the end of this steel right here, and put that on there. And I've got a, matter of fact, I get here. I'll be right back just in a second. Just walk over here to my bench. Well, we walked over and in the shop out here over to the other bench, and here's my girl wanting to get in the action, I guess. I don't know what they want, but anyway. And we made this flash guard right here, you know, machined it out, and hopefully this right here will screw on there. Oh, look at that. Oh man, that's a good fit too. And yeah, we'll put that on there. Looks good. I just want this thing. There we go. Now don't that look good? And if you'll notice, I got my holes are in line with the sight and everything. And so I mean, you know, I've got it all in line. I took my time with it, you know, and just, you know, that's what it takes. You know, you don't get in a rush when you're working on a firearm or anything like that. But anyway, we'll go ahead and stick this together and pull that bolt back just a little bit. There we go. Now then, I got a block in here that I had ordered that goes on it right there, and you've got two screw holes right down in here. I don't know if that's picking up on the camera or not, but you got two holes there, and these two screws with this wedge. It kind of catches it, you know, catches your barrel. So anyway, we'll stick them in there and turn this thing around where I can work on it and get them screws started down in there. But anyway, you've got a little slot like thing that this fits into, and it'll hold that barrel in place. Now the quick release barrels, you know, that they've got are a little different than that, but this in here, you know, I've been hunting parts and hunting parts and hunting parts, and so I mean, you know, it takes a while to find them all. And when you're using parts like that, you know, you gotta use what you got. I mean, you know, and but I'm going to show you that place on the end of that barrel. I should have showed you before I stuck it in there. See that little notch right there? Now this thing right here, take screws out. This thing right here fits in there right like that. And then when you tighten your screws down, then that holds your barrel in place. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and now put it back together. We should have showed you that, I guess. But, I mean, you know, I want people to see how it's put together. You know, you sit there and take one apart or something, or you decide you're going to build one, or just anything like that. And then you turn around and you take it apart and you go, oh my gosh, what have I done here? You know, and you wonder, how am I going to get that back together? So hopefully this video will show you that, you know, once you get everything lined up, then, you know, and tightened up, that barrel ain't going to go nowhere. You know, we'll put one screw in there. I guess we can turn it around like this. Maybe we can show on the camera. That's a screw in that end, and then we get it in, and then we'll put the other one in. I mean, you know. And these are Allen head screws, and they're long. Some people say, well, why they got such a long threads on them? Well, you know, more thread you got, the more it holds. You know. And so, but anyway, we got that one down there pretty far. Now we'll take, what do we do the other? There's the other. Now we turn around and switch hands and stick this one in. Notice we're right-handed, we're a little faster that way. But anyway. Now you know these 1022s, they've been around since, oh Lord, I had one when I was 16 years of age, and that was 50 years ago. And they're still manufacturing them the same way that they did back then. The only thing I think that they've done is they've made that breakdown model. You know, that's the only one. The only thing that's different, but everything else is the same. You know, and I like Ruger's philosophy on that. You know, if it works, use it. You know, and so you know, that's always worked. I've owned, I guess, maybe 10 over the years, you know, and I've worked on very few. About the only thing that I have done is conversion kits, you know, just converting them over to look like a AR or look like a small, you know, I don't know, Uzi or something like that. I mean, you know, they just, gosh, they got so many conversion kits out there. I guess they probably got 1,000 of them, different ways that you can take the Ruger and you know, deploy it in a style that would make it yours. You know, everybody's got their own style. Everybody likes to have that one special firearm that they call theirs, you know, their style and everything else. And the reason I done this one, or doing this one the way I am, is it reminds me of the M1 carbine. And you know, back in the early 60s, see, they still had the M1 carbine, and then they come out with the M16 for Vietnam. So, I mean, you know, and which was right off the bat, you know, you really had to watch the M16 because you had to keep it clean. And you could fire that thing, you know, and then all at once you could throw a clip in there and start shooting another one, and it would jam. You'd have to tear it down real quick and clean it. Once you cleaned it, you know, awesome firepower out of them things. But later on, you know, in the early 60s there, when they come out with them, you know, they were full automatic, And then they got to figuring out that, you know, people were just shooting too much ammunition, so they changed them over to a 3-shot burst, which was all right. You could still get around that, put a lot of lead down range, you know. And but right here at the last, these screws are, I don't have a rounded head Allen wrench, and I could have got a small one, but I just figured I'd grab a T-handle and be done with that. I mean, it won't take me just a second. That went tight, and didn't mean to grunt too much there on camera, but anyway, there we go. That one's tight. Now then, oh yeah. All right, now next, and you know, I should have, I guess, you know, like they say, shoulda, coulda, woulda, and all that other stuff. But anyway, I gold the trigger. I used that Bonanza gold, the same gold that I put on the side in the inlay in that. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but anyway, I mean, you know, my cameraman back there sitting there pointing his finger, yep, it's doing its thing, you know. So anyway, I got a real fine cameraman there, Tim Morse, and he's a bass player in an up-and-coming band, Half of Something. And so, I mean, you know, he didn't even realize I was going to say that, but awesome bass player. I mean, you know, he can do things on the bass that, you know, a lot of guys that play lead guitar, you know, do on their guitar. And as far as I know, the man's never played anything but bass, but he's just got that knack for it. But anyway, back on the firearm here. Now you can see we've got her put together that far. So what we're going to do, we're going to, now this right here, we flip it up, get over. There we go. That goes in that little slot right there. Now we're going to turn our arm on its side. I ordered me a special bumper for it, or buffer, whatever you want to call it. And so it just goes down in here where the metal one went. This is kind of like neoprene, or I don't know, soft something other. It's almost like it's made out of rubber. Make sure we're getting lined up here. We want to, and that goes right down in there in the bottom. And if you can see it right in there. And what that does, when that bolt flies back, you know, when you fire it, that goes back against that. And that'll quieten it down. You know, a lot of them, you shoot them and, you know, you hear the crack of the gun, but if you pay attention to them real close, then you'll hear that metal smack that pin that's back here. It's a hardened pin. And I just wanted to put something in there just to quieten it down a little bit. I mean, you know, just a little bit more anyway. All right, now we've got that. Make sure we've got our ejector sitting up here where it needs to be. Make sure that pin is where it needs to be. And we're going to slide this right there. Let's see here. I had a couple of pins I had made, and the last time I hot glued anything, I just throwed them in there with it. And we got that one in there. All right. Now we're cooking with gas. All right, now then, let me get the stock and bring over here. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna, I believe, move my gun vise over here. That way I can lay everything in here without me having to wrestle it around here and there and all that other stuff. We'll set that right there like that. Now with these 1022s, they got that crossbolt safety on it. And if your trigger mechanism is fairly new, which this one's brand new, every bit of it, it's pretty stiff, so it'll stay in spot, where it's staying right where it's supposed to be. And you start this down, you've got a little place back here at the back, and then you just kind of slide forward, and she'll set right down in there, right like that. And then you got your bolt. Now, the bolt I ordered for this stock, and it comes with an Allen wrench key in it. So, I mean, we can use it to the T-handle just to snug it up. There's no use of over tightening it. Then our safety works good. That's got us in the. There we go. That's got us in there. Push it. She snaps. Well, it looks like everything there's working good. All right, now, I tell you what, since we've got it in this gun vise, tell you what we'll do. We'll go ahead and put the scope on there real quick. We've put these mounts. And yeah, I really like this, that receiver come with it already tapped. And normally I would do this over there at my bench, but there wasn't any way that we could see of having the camera, to be able to move it and focus it, and get it down there where we need it and stuff. We'll walk over here for a second and get my screwdriver. And here's another little handy tool to have, and that's a torque screwdriver. Now this thing does it in inch pounds instead of foot pounds. And I've got this one set on about 20, right now it's set on about 29 foot-pounds. That was the last scope that I put on. I believe I put it on a 25-06. But anyway, we'll stick that on there. And I always cradle my screwdriver when I'm tightening up something. Let's see, let me tighten this up just a little bit. That way it'll hold everything in place. There we go. There now. Because if it's one thing that just irritates the whiz out of me, is to see a place where somebody has boogered up the screws and the screw, the area around the screw. So what I do is I tilt it, set it in the slot, and then I cradle it with my fingers right like that. And that way it won't move. It may wobble around a little bit, but I mean my fingers help keep it steady. And here, click. When it clicked, that lets me know that that's tight enough. And we'll go to the next one. Now normally I would put some blue Loctite on these, but I don't know yet. I'm just now building the gun, and so I mean I don't know if that was tight enough. Now we go back and check these. Then that was tight enough. but I may want to change it. Get on there. There we go. All right. Yeah, it's not marked up any. Looks good, but I may want to change that, and so that's why I'm not going to Loctite it on yet, because I may want to change the scope mount. Now here's the scope I'm putting on it. This is a 3x9x40 A&O, and a lot of people wonder why would I put an air rifle, and it's made by Gammo. Now, I'm not sponsored by them either, but I'm just telling you what I'm putting on it. See if it's, may not be wide enough yet. Tell you what, if you're gonna work on guns, or just if you're just gonna do scopes or anything, it's worth the money to buy one of these. I mean, they're just one thing about it. When it clicks, you know it's time. You know, get it up here where I can see it. Now all that's left would be to bore sight it, but I usually wait and bore sight them right before I get ready to take them to the range. That way I don't, you know, forget about anything that I've done or anything like that. But right there it is. That's my 1022 build, and you can see it's the traditional stock, and that's just one that I'd got from somebody that, you know, they brought me a synthetic stock, one of them custom stocks. Now you don't have to tighten these overly tight, I'll tell you. A lot of people, they'll put them on and they'll rinse them down there, you know, and there's no use in that. I had this one backed out quite a bit. Get it on the screw. Cradle it, tighten it down just a little. There you go, don't move or anything. I can set this up, move this back over here on the bench. And there it is. There's my version of my, let's see, I've got a clip here somewhere. I guess I need to check my clip. There it is. And make sure that it goes in there the way it's supposed to. There's that. Get our clip release. Look at that, it falls right out. So that's, I like those quick release on those. I really do. They're handy. But anyway, appreciate you watching the video. Like us, subscribe, Gonna be a lot more videos coming. We're new at this, so it's kind of one of them things like, you know, we just have to play it by ear, I guess, as we go. But anyway, appreciate you watching the video. A lot more of them's gonna be coming. Christmas is coming up, so, you know, I wish everyone a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And main thing is I hope everybody's healthy, you know, with all this COVID thing going around. But anyway, we'll catch you the next time. Maybe we'll sit around and figure out what we're going to video the next time. But anyway, we may make a wallet for you. We've got a couple of handguns we may just tear down and put them back together for you, just to familiarize you with, you know, yours if you've got one like that. So anyway, been a good time. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you the next time. See you later.